Hello, it's Erin with The Joy in Pens and Paper, and I have a package to open with everyone. So this is a new pen. It was ordered from Van Ness, and I absolutely adore Van Ness because their shipping is just so quick. Oh, little note. Thank you for your order. You are most welcome. Ooh, I like that. Has some red sheen to it. Pretty. All right. Now I did order a pen as well as a few other things because I was very close to free shipping, and so I fell in the trap. I know it's a trap, but I fell in the trap of I could pay for a few ink samples and get free shipping, or pay for the shipping and end up paying the same amount. So I figured instead of throwing the money away into shipping, I would just purchase a few more things. So here's my 3 ink samples, and if anyone wants to do a timestamp guess, go ahead and take a guess at what pen you think this is. If you're guessing around the 131.40 mark, then I know that it is a true guess. But it is a Twsbi Eco. Oh, goodness. And it is the cream rose gold. So Twsbi's, I'm realizing this might be my first unboxing of a Twsbi, or maybe the only other unboxing that I have of a Twsbi is the Royal Jade Rose Gold, which comes in a different box with a ink bottle. But a Twsbi Eco is going to come with the wrench tool for if you needed to remove the piston for cleaning or for repair purposes. I have never had to use that tool. And it comes with some grease to oil things up, or so I think it's silicone grease. Yeah, silicone grease. And I, again, have never had to use that. Perhaps I should have used it, but I have not. And then there's some instructions for how to use the tool, the grease, and filling the pen. So I was just watching a video by Cass Barton, and Cass, if you watch this, I'm on a fangirl, so leave me a comment. But Cass was doing a review of her fountain pen collection, and she had commented that she was looking at this particular pen, but was unsure if she was going to get it or not. And yeah, so I got it. And I'm just reaching over because I want to grab out from my pens just so that it's very clear the difference. So this is the white in rose gold, and this is the cream in rose gold. Let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see those differences. So you can tell it is definitely this beautiful cream color. And both of these are a Twsbi Eco RG for rose gold, made in Taiwan. I believe this one has an extra fine nib. Yes, it does. And I got this one in a fine nib. I very, very strongly considered getting this in a bold or, a broad or a 1.1 stub, because I know that you can switch out the nib units, and then I would have, because I already have a couple extra fines, a couple fines, and one medium. And then I have I think it's a 1.1 stub in a Twsbi Go, but I don't have a broad yet. But I really wanted the, so here, well, sorry, here was my rationale. I have a rose gold extra fine nib. I have a rose gold fine nib, but I didn't, or sorry, rose gold extra fine and a rose gold medium, but I didn't yet have a rose gold fine. So that was my logic behind getting this size nib. All right. So let me zoom out just a little bit, and I'm gonna grab my new pen tray that was gifted by a viewer, Tina, that will help with the roly-polies of the pens, especially the ones that don't have a roll stop. And I wanted to do a little bit of a size comparison. So this is a Novelar Nautilus. And then we have this is a Kaweco Sport. Definitely a much different size. We have a Ferris wheel press brush pen. Oh, that's got a little smoosh on it. Interesting. And a Pilot Vanishing Point. And let's see, we've got, let me just put this one, ooh, that's embarrassing. This is a Sailor Pro Gear Slim. So here's some pen comparisons. Oh, you know, and I should bring out I have a lot of pens that I have cleaned out. This is a Twsbi Diamond 580. And this is also in the white and rose gold, which again, you can see the difference between the white and the cream. All right, so now let's look at it uncapped. I saw a YouTube video way back in the day, and I can't remember the YouTuber, I apologize, who had a Twsbi fountain pen, brush, sorry, goodness gracious, my words, a Ferris wheel press brush pen that every time they uncapped it, the nib unit unscrewed a little bit from the barrel, and they contacted Ferris wheel press, who replaced the pen. So I have two Ferris wheel press brush pens, one in their steel nib and this one in the gold plated nib, and the gold plated nib one does that same exact thing. Look at all this beautiful rose gold. Oh. So my viewer, Tina, who actually gifted this pen tray to me, had commented on one of my videos where I said that I was thinking about getting this pen and wasn't quite sure, and she definitely encouraged / enabled, which I appreciate. And I very much agree that it fits into the aesthetic of my collection, where I do have a little bit more of the neutral or whites, cream, earthy tone colors, or cool, like, I don't know, cool, I don't know. All right, so uncapped, it's a little longer. So I'm having a hard time because this part is clear versus this has a black piece right here. So I'm just trying to make sure it's lined up the same, but it's a little bit longer than the Diamond 580. It's a little bit longer than the Ferris wheel press brush pen. It is a little bit longer than the Novelar Nautilus, and definitely longer than the Kaweco, definitely longer than the Sailor Pro Gear Slim. I just like to include specifically a Sailor Pro Gear Slim because that's very common in the fountain pen world, especially with Jinhao creating the Jinhao 82, which is a very solid dupe for the Sailor Pro Gear Slim. But then I know, even though I watched a lot of videos, I was very surprised with the size of a Kaweco Sport. It was still much smaller than I anticipated. So I think it's good to have that out there as a comparison. And the Pilot Vanishing Point does not have a cap, but if you were to press the button at the bottom and the nib unit comes out, and you were to line up the nib unit, that's much longer than the rest, but that's kind of a different pen. All right, so I'm going to put these away. Thank you for bearing with me as I do this. And then we are going to ink this pen up. Tina, this tray was a game changer. Thank you so much. All right, so I think I decided which ink I wanted to ink it up with before doing the swatches of these 3 inks. But I think before I definitively ink this up, let me go ahead and swatch these 3. So I'm going to open up to this fresh page right here, and I will be using my Kakamori brass nib dip pen right here. All right, so the 3 inks that I got are all in the brown family. I'm very much exploring that color family right now. So the first one is Robert Oster Cafe Crema. And if you have not heard of or used the Kakamori brass nib pen, I'm doing an extra line here, you can get a different line variation with this nib just by changing the angle in which you are holding the pen. So the lower the angle to the page, the broader the line width, and if you want a really fine line, you hold the nib kind of vertical. Haha. Words are a struggle today. I don't know what is going on. I really don't. I have a white t-shirt that I use to dry off. Oh, that's a nice golden brown. It reminds me of KWZ Honey. All right, and Iroshizuku Yamaguri. This is one that, depending on if I like this ink, I might get a bottle of it. I'm realizing that there's a couple of Iroshizuku inks that I loved, and then I didn't get a bottle of it, and then they were discontinued, and I am feeling very remiss about that. And with how well behaved Pilot Iroshizuku inks are, I don't know why I don't have more in my collection. That's really nice. It's very dark. That's very nice. Let's see how that dries down. All right, and this oh, that's just beautiful. Look at that. I feel like it's getting brighter as it dries. And then the last one is Ferris Wheel Press Goose Poupon. The other thing I really love about Van Ness is not only is their shipping really quick, but their samples are, I think it's 4 mils, and I believe it's double the size of some other online stores you can get samples from. So you can really get an idea of whether it's an ink that you want to buy a bottle of, because you can put it in a few pens and try it in a few different nibs and see how well behaved the ink is and really learn about it. This is it's much greener than what I expected when I've seen other swatches of this ink. So I was thinking it was a dupe for Pilot Iroshizuku Inaho, which is right here. And this is more, has a little bit more of like a tan and a little pinky undertones to it, versus this is much more green. So we have Ferris Wheel Press. And like many other Ferris Wheel Press inks, this is definitely on the drier side. You can just see the difference. There's certainly probably some variation in how I'm holding the angle of this nib, but the line is much finer. And even in the line variation, definitely a drier ink. In the right pen, that's not a bad thing. Let me be very clear with that. Oh, it's got some really nice shading. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little thinking out loud right now. It is December. It is the holiday season. My color palette this month is a lot of greens and reds with a little blue thrown in there. So I'm kind of thinking I might ink up the Goose Poupon. My other choice that I was thinking is Pennsylvania Fieldstone. It's been a few months since I've used this and I'm missing it. I think I am going to go with the Pennsylvania Fieldstone, but that was a close second. That's beautiful. All right. So filling up a Twsbi, exceptionally easy. Now I should rinse this with water, but I just got my water all dirty. So I should have rinsed this out first. So ideally what you want to do is flush a new pen with water, just a few times of turning the piston. But I've also found that Twsbis are really easy to work with. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dunk this into my ink bottle and twist the piston to bring the ink on up. So just make sure that your nib is submerged. And then give it a twist. And look at all that ink. Easy peasy. I'm just going to cap this and put it to the side. I say this in a lot of my videos because I do a lot of recording while my family is busy doing other things, but if you hear my son in the background, he's just living his best life playing online games with his friends. All right, so we have today is December 8th. And this is a Vanessa order. Twsbi Eco cream and rose gold with a fine nib, and it's inked up with Birmingham Pen Co. Pennsylvania Fieldstone. So this is a steel nib. So you're not going to get a ton of, or really any line variation. There's no flex to it. But if you haven't yet used Birmingham Pen Company, Pennsylvania's Fieldstone, it's this beautiful, lovely chromo shading ink that is this kind of brownish pink, murky pink color that's just phenomenal. I love this ink so much. Now with a fine nib, you will see that not a ton of ink is going down. The dry time, this was 1 second, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, as I'm counting and trying to talk at the same time. But yeah, this is beautiful. I'm very happy that I got this pen. I love the cream color, and I think it's just going to be really pretty with my other Twsbis. Actually, now that I look at it, you could almost put them in this order. You've got the Diamond 580 white is not a stark white. It's kind of has that almost iridescent look to it. So you've got the stark white, the iridescent white, and the cream. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Love it. Love it. The price point for the Twsbi Eco is $50. Or I should say the price point for this was $50. If you are someone that shops a little frequently at some of the kind of bigger stores like Atlas Stationers or couple of other stores, you can earn some rewards and apply them to make it a little bit cheaper. You can also wait until you get a sale. I will do a slight spoiler alert that my Christmas gift this year was a very nice pen that a very stellar deal was had, and it was about 30% off, 50% off. But it was also, the decision to purchase it was also based on the fact that I found out today that my student loans were forgiven, and the money, I had some money set aside for this month's payment and part of next month's payment, and so that went towards that pen, plus some money from Christmas savings. But that's the extent of what I'm going to share. And I will talk in some of my other videos for those of you that watch my planning and memory keeping videos, as well as my fountain pen and ink videos. You'll hear a little bit about my excitement of finding out that my student loans were paid off. I'm still in shock today. I'm in absolute shock. So here is the new pen that I got and the new inks that I am adding to my collection. I am, I think, most impressed with the Robert Oster Cafe Crema. And I'm excited to put Ferris Wheel Press Goose Poupon in a pen. That might be a nice January ink to use. Or if one of my Christmas inks runs out and I want to refill that pen, maybe I'll go ahead and throw that ink in a pen. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you made it to the end, I appreciate that you took the time to spend with me today, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.